Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and we're going to be going over the how-to build for AGL Captain Ginyu. Yes, he's a very old unit. He's been out for 2 years almost. 2 years is quite a while there. But with AGL Frieza on JP, I feel like his placement, he could be an option for that AGL Frieza. Maybe not the best option, but... Okay. But, might as well just kind of go over it very quickly. So, he is definitely a full additional build still. Even to this day, he's full additional. And I'll tell you exactly why, and it's mainly because of his 12 key super. His 12 key super is just stacking defense, and that's it. You could very well give him dodge, but he has dodge when he transforms as well. Let's just go over his stuff. It's been a hot minute. Attack and defense 180, additional attack when 50% when forming a super. Launches an additional attack with 30% chance to be a super, plus an additional attack and defense plus 10% per Ginyu Force ally on the team. Unfortunately, that means that if you did throw Freeze on his team, he would only have about a 40% buff instead of 50. Ginyu Force category allies, attack and defense plus 30. Then he has attacks effective against all types when there's another Ginyu Force ally. Now, normally, because of this, a lot of people would presume, yeah, you cannot run anything else other than a Ginyu Force team. But the thing is, outside of one part of his passive when he transforms, he doesn't have any other Ginyu Force restrictions. He has attacks effective against all types for the first turn, and he recovers 59% HP, attack and defense 200, still has a 50% attack buff on super. He just launches an additional attack. There's a 30% chance of becoming a super. Attack and defense plus 50% or up to 50%, and chance of performing crit, and chance of evasion up to 50% with each attack performed. So notice that they got rid of the Ginyu Force restriction with that when he transformed. And then he can foresee enemy super attack if there's an ally whose name includes Jace on the team. So, I mean, you could kind of force push it with this Birder and Jace unit. If you went in a full dodge belt with this Jace and Birder unit, you could potentially get some crazy dodge, like full dodge to only freaking team and turns that could still make him very viable to use with the potential to use the Scouter. I think he's a decent option. I don't think he's going to link absurdly well with Frieza, but he is one of the only 200% teams with that Frieza unit now, so it is something to keep in mind. He stacks attack on his 12 key when he transforms, so you want to get as many additionals as entirely possible in his base form for as long as possible to try and get his defense up. I still don't think he's a very viable unit in this day and age, but he still is pretty decent. He's still pretty good, pretty decent art and animations. Let's take a look at his defense from 2 years ago. From 2 years ago, I mean, he's kind of cooking, man. I mean, a full Ginyu Force team with 6 super attack effects, I mind you, but yeah, 40% support, 1 mil defense. 2 years ago, a 1 mil defense was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy to have 1 million defense potential. There's a reason why he was very good when he still released. He was still very good. Now with 6 super attack effects, you can potentially triple super in a turn. It's probably still very unlikely. You're probably more likely to double super every time. But I mean, if you double super every time he pops up, get him built up to that 1 million threshold, I mean, he could probably be good to transform and then be doing pretty well for himself as soon as he actually gets that transformation. With 6 super attack effects after he transforms, he's at 900k defense. So yeah, I would say probably a sweet spot margin would be 7 to 8 attack effects and then transform him, and he's probably would be chilling around more so of the 1 mil to 1.2 million defense, which would not be that bad. And with a bunch of off-turn support that we've been getting in the game, I would say it's possible he could be a very viable option, potentially, in the future. But at the end of the day, he is still just Ginyu. You just run Ginyu Force with him. The other Ginyu Force units aren't as well off as him. I mean, you're not bringing this guy in the 9th anniversary content, but he's on the banner for the new Gohan and Piccolo unit, so I felt that since I haven't had an how-to build for him, might as well, right? Might as well. So anyways, guys, if that helped you figure out how you want to build Ginyu, then glad I could be of help. I hope you have a good day and a good night.